Hi everyone, it's Wendy here from Wendy's Art. It's been a while since I've made a video, but I thought this would be an ideal opportunity to make a video. It's a commission piece, 1 metre by 1 metre stretch canvas. I've already got a couple of layers of gesso on it, just smoothly. And the first thing that I like to do, as you know, with my abstracts is to start with some lines and mark making. So to do that, I have a Derwent tinted charcoal in green moss. I have 2 Lumo colour waterproof pencils in a red and a yellow. I have a sanguine coloured charcoal, a sepia coloured charcoal, and a pit oil based sanguine pencil. So I'm just going to do some mark making. This painting is going to be based on a small 11 by 11 inch play piece that I did on paper. With the same sorts of colours and design. And I can't think of the word, what drew me to start doing that painting was my husband brought me some of the insides of our native beehive, and they're got lots of windy shapes, and that's what I'll be starting to sort of do. Okay. And I'm hoping, a lot of this won't show through, but I'm hoping some of the lines and that will be able to be seen. To layer 2, and for this layer I've decided I'm going to do it the opposite way to what I did the original small painting. In that one I did the dark ink at the end, and this one, because the client's home where this painting will hang is quite dark and doesn't get a lot of light, I'm going to put the dark on the bottom and then cover over that with a lot of the other lighter colours. And I thought I would use this homemade brush with the inks. So I'm going to use, what have we got, Dale and Rowney. So I've got an antelope brown ink and a sepia ink. So I'm going to put some of that down and then use this brush, which has got an agapanthus dry head on it and a little gum nut. So I'm going to use this on this layer, and also a hairdryer just to get some of those beautiful runs that you can get from the inks. So always make sure you give it a good shake, and let's get started. Decided just while watching this dry that I'd like this to come further down. I've got that one going to the top. I think this one would look better if it was going down, so I'll get some more of this antelope brown. Get my hairdryer ready. Okay. Looks much better with that coming down, and on the edge here it's got some lovely little feathering bits which really look great, so it'll look good on the side. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry now. I'm happier with that balance, and to be continued. So I'm going to be using a red brown bronze, and these are Ara Acrylics, transparent red oxide. Burnt sienna for some brown, and raw umber, which I'll use very thinly and very sparingly. To lighten up any areas, I'll use some titanium buff light. I've also got some green gold lake, which looks really lovely and sort of luminous when it's in a light coat. I have yellow ochre extra, and for a bit of bling, a bit of gold. and Ara transparent yellow oxide. And then I have some other colours that I might use. Matisse yellow light Hansa, so if it needs a bit of brightening up, I can use a bit of that yellow, and it is transparent, so you'll still see what's underneath. And from Golden, I have some iridescent bronze, fine. Iridescent copper, fine, and I might leave those for some final touches on top. One of my favourite colours is the Quin Nicolazzo Gold, gorgeous colour, especially when it's put on lightly. And then I've got some Golden high flow colours, Titan Buff, transparent yellow iron oxide, iridescent copper, Quin Nicolazzo Gold, gold fine again, transparent brown oxide and transparent red oxide. So they're the colours I'll be using, and mostly using this, what's it called? It's a catalyst wedge. That's what I'm mostly using. I've got this other one which I haven't used before, but I thought a spare might be handy. And then I've got a couple of these, some palette knives in sort of leafy shapes. So I thought they might come in handy as well. All right, so once this is dry, I'll keep going. All right, so now we're up to adding the colour. All the ink is dried and it's looking really, really nice. Okay, so I'm going to use the same techniques that I used to do the original because that's the one that the client really likes. So I'm just going to start doing, I've got to put the lids back on the ink. I'll start doing some of the darker colours, which, as you'll see, aren't really that dark once I make them a thin layer with the wedge. So I'm going to start with this wedge because that's my favourite one. And I'm going to start with some Ara Raw Umber. So I'm not going to put too much of this dark brown down, but giving some darks at the bottom will give the painting a bit more depth. So that's my reasoning behind it. So I'm going to put some up here and here. As you can see, I just put some light layers of the dark brown so that it will give a few darker spots, but not overly taking up all the light from the bottom. Alright, so I just want to get a bit of a sprinkling of some darker bits, and then I'll start using some lighter layers. And I'm going to stop talking now so I can just relax and go with the flow. Bye.